Unit first, livestock-based livelihood and their evolution. Livestock-based livelihoods and their evolution. History of history of domestication and their social dimension. Evolution and relationship between agriculture and animal husbandry. Farming and characteristics of farming in India. Classification of farming, type and systems. Present farming, cooperative farming, collective farming, contract farming, estate farming, organic farming, capitalistic farming, small scale farming, large scale farming, intensive, extensive farming, specialized, diversified, mixed, integrated, and dry land farming. Role of animal in the contemporary society. Introduction. Domestication. Domestication is the process of adapting wild plant and animal for human use. Domestic species are raised for food, work, clothing, medicine, and many other uses. Domesticated plant and animal must be raised and cared for by humans. Domesticated species are not wild. Plant domestication. Plant domestication. People first domesticated plant about 10,000 years ago between the Tigris and Euphrates river in Mesopotamia, which include the modern countries of Iran, Iraq, Turkey, and Syria. People collected and planted the seed of wild plant. They made sure the plant had much water as they needed to grow and planted them in area with the right amount of sun. Week or week or month later, when the plant blossomed, people harvested the food crop. The first domesticated plant in Mesopotamia were wheat, barley, lentils, and type of pea. People in other part of the world include Eastern Asia, part of Africa, and plant of North and South America, also domesticated plant. Other plants that were cultivated by early civilization include rice in Asia and potatoes in South America. Plants have not only been domesticated for food, cotton plants were domesticated for fiber, which is used in clothes. Some flowers, such as tulips, were domesticated for ornamental or decorative reason. Animal domestication. About the same time, the domesticated plant people in Mesopotamia began to tame animal for meat, milk, and hide. Hide of the skin of mammals were used for clothing, storage, and to build tent shelter. Goats were probably the first animal to be domesticated, followed closely by sheep. In Southeast Asia, chicken also were domesticated about 10,000 years ago. Later, people began domesticating larger animals such as oxen or horses for plowing and transportation. These are known as beasts of burden. Domestication plan can be difficult work. The easiest animal to domesticate are herbivores that graze on vegetation because they are easiest to feed. They do not need human to kill other animals to feed them or to grow special crop. Cow, for instance, are easily domesticated. Herbivores that eat grain are more difficult to domesticate than herbivores that graze because grain are valuable and also need to be domesticated. Chickens are herbivores that eat seed and grain. Some animals domesticated for one purpose no longer serve that purpose. Some dogs were domesticated to assist people in hunting. For instance, there are hundreds of domestic dog species today. Many of them are still excellent hunters, but most are pet. Throughout history, people have bred domesticated animals to promote certain traits. Domestic animals are chosen for their ability to breed in captivity, captivity and for their temperate temperament. Their ability to resist disease and services in difficult climate is also valuable. Over time, this trait makes domestic animals different from their wild ancestor. Dogs were probably domesticated from grey wolves. Today, dogs are a distinct species from grey wolf. Domesticated animals can look very different from their wild ancestors. For example, early wild chickens weighed about 2 pounds, but over thousands of years of domestication, they have been bred to be larger. Larger chickens yield more meat. Today, domestic chickens weigh as much as 70 pounds. Wild chickens only hatch a small number of eggs once a year, while domestic chickens commonly lay 200 or more eggs each year. Social dimension of domestication. Social dimension of domestication. Domestication plant marked a major turning point for women, the beginning of an agricultural way of life and more permanent civilization. Women no longer had to wander to hunt animal and gather plant for their food supply. Agriculture, the cultivating of domestic plants, allowed fewer people to provide more food. The stability that comes with regular, predictable food production led to increased population density. People were able to do more than hunt for each day's food. They could travel, trade, and communicate. The world's first village and cities were built near field of domesticated plant. Plant domestication also led to advance in tool production. The earliest farming tools were land tools made from stone. People later developed metal farming tools and eventually used power pulled by domesticated animals to work field. The process of domestication continued. Cowboy and other horses expert train horses. Sometimes this is called breaking a horse. Training a horse to allow a saddle and ride require an enormous amount of physical work. Training impatient horses that are born on ranchers or in stable steel need to be trained. Although training a young horse is easier than domesticating a horse cuffing in the wild. Farming. Farming. Farming is an activity that involves the use of land for civilized cultivation of crop, raising of animal etc. Factors determine type of farming. There are several factors which determine the type of farming undertaken by an individual or organization, and these factors are classified as physical, economical, and social as given below. Factor determining type of farming. Physical factor: climate, soil, topography. Economic factor: marketing cost, changes in relative value of farm product, availability of labor and capital, land value, cycles of over and underproduction, competition between enterprises, miscellaneous seasonal availability of raw material, disease, etc. Social factor: type of community, cooperative spirit, classification of farming based on how income is derived from a farming enterprises, specialized farming, diversified farming, mixed farming, based on mode of ownership and organization of farm, individual owned cooperative farming, collective farming, based on scale of operation, small scale farming, large scale farming, specialized farming. Specialized farming. A specialized farming is one in which 50% or more recipient or income are derived from one source. Advantage of specialized farming are best suited to particular soil, climate, topography, and other physical conditions like market type. Work easily get reduced to routine, better marketing, better management, less equipment and labor needed, efficiency and skill of personnel increase, costly and efficient machinery can be kept. Farmer can secure complete mastery over the condition problem of production, processing and scale. Under favorable and specific condition, extremely profitable. Example commercial and large scale dairy and poultry farm. Diversified farming. Diversified farming. Wine farming is organized to produce one main product but also has several other enterprises, each of which in sale is the direct source of income. It is called diversified farming. Mixed farming. According to the 12th National Conference of Agriculture Economists 1960, a farm where at least 10% of its income is contributed by livestock is called a mixed farm. The upper limit of gross income to be contributed by livestock activity was fixed at 49% under Indian conditions. This conference restricted the scope of mixed farming to the livestock activity, which would largely include milk, cattle, and buffalo. Any extension of mixed farming by supplementary enterprises like sheep and goat farming, fishery, and poultry were classified under diversified farming. Crop with dairy farming, the most common type of farming in India. Advantage of mixed and diversified farming are well suited for adoption round the year under Indian conditions. Income obtained throughout the year offered opportunity for better use of land, capital and labor, help in maintaining soil fertility, reduce the risk due to failure, unfavorable market prices, etc. Income is regular and quick. Cost of transportation and scale of byproduct can be reduced to minimum. Offer opportunity for complete use of agricultural wastage. Provide balance and protective farming. Cooperative farming. Cooperative farming. Cooperative farming is one in which agriculture or livestock producer cooperate with one another to secure advantage of cooperative buying of agriculture or livestock input and cooperative selling of agriculture or livestock produce, or they may cooperate in other to obtain credit on easier terms. Classification of cooperative farming societies are cooperative better farming society. In this kind, independent land holding member agree to follow a plan of cultivation or operation laid down by the society. Cooperative tenant farming society. This differ from the above in the fact that the society, which may hold land or freehold or leasehold, leases out the plot to member for individual cultivation. Otherwise, its objective and spirit of action are the same as that of better farming society. Cooperative joint farming society. This is type and landowner pool their land for joint cultivation. The ownership of each member in his holding continue and is recognized by the payment of individual in proportion to the value of his hand. Collective farming. Collective farming. In collective farming society, members do not have an individual land ownership right in the society's land. The society holds land in freehold or leasehold and undertake joint cultivation. Type of collective farming society are type first collective farming societies. It is marked by transfer of land ownership right by member in return for share of equivalent value. Type second collective farming society. It is marked by transfer of land ownership right by member without any consideration. Type third collective farming society. It is marked by absence of the transfer of any prior land ownership right by members because member did not possess any ownership right in society's land. Large and small scale farming. Large and small scale farming. There are different means of describing scale of livestock enterprises via depending on how much of the commodity is produced and marketed by the until within a time period number of animal and or but maintained or area of holding over which the livestock enterprises is based. The advantage of large scale production over small scale production are called the economic of scale. Economy of scale have been classified by Marshall into internal economies and external economies. Internal economy are those advantages of production which occur as a result of decrease in cost of production as the result of expansion of the output. These economies are available to individual firm independent of other firms. Internal economy are caused by two factor wise indivisibilities and specialization. Some of the possible external economies are economy of concentration, economy of information, economy of specialization or distinction. Comparison between small and large scale farming. Comparison between small and large scale farming. Aspect large scale, small division of labor, specialization possible, limited mechanization possible, not possible, quantity of the output more less, cost of production low high, cost of management low high, risk more less, marketing facility better poor, economy by buying and selling more less, possibility of using improved technology more less, danger of overproduction more less, supervision poor or better, flexibility inflexibility flexible or flexible, chance of unhealthy competition more less. Contract farming. Contract farming. In this farming, an agreement is made between the farmer and the agency for the farming starting from production to marketing. Responsibilities are distributed among both the party in relation to each and every requirement and function of farming in question. Generally, the agency provides the input support and arranged marketing of the produce, whereas the farmer arranged the land, shelter, and labor. Poultry production with layer and broiler has extended into contract farming wherein the poultry farming agree to provide egg or chicken of certain quality and adhere to the management practices indicated by an agency in return of an assured market. The agency is responsible for supply of chicks, vaccination and health care, poultry feed and purchasing the output, chicken or egg. The farmer's responsibility is to provide land, shade and labor for maintenance. Consequently, the small-scale broiler and layer farm could not withstand the competition from the large commercial farmer and vanished from the scene. As a result, poultry production is highly commercialized and the role of public extension has become limited in the setup. Fish and farming. Fish and farming. Fish and farming. It refers to a type of small scale agriculture. Fish and farmer grow crop and often rear some livestock on a small scale. Some of the produce is used to feed the family and the surplus is sold. The farmer and family members provided most of the labor, most of the land is used for growing crop. Crop rotation is usually practiced. Fijian farmers often rear some livestock including chickens, duck, and other small animal. Farming is done using mostly labor-intensive method and traditional hand tool. Several irrigation channel are used to supply crop with water, manure, and compost are used as fertilizer. Estate farming. Estate farming. Farming on a large area of land that is owned by a family or an organization and is often used for growing crop or raising animal. This extensive commercial system is characterized by the cultivation of a single case crop in fish plantation of estate on a large scale. Because it is a capital centered system, it is important to be technically advanced and have efficient method of cultivation and tools, including fertilizer and irrigation and transport facilities. Example of this type of farming are the tea plantation in Assam and West Bengal, the coffee plantation in Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and the rubber plantation in Kerala and Maharashtra. Organic farming. Organic farming. Organic farming is a method of crop and livestock production that involves much more than choosing not to use pesticide, fertilizer, genetically modified organisms, antibiotics, and growth hormone. Organic production is a holistic system designed to optimize the productivity and fitness of diverse communities within the agroecosystem, including soil organisms, plant, livestock, and people. The principal goal of organic production is to develop enterprises that are sustainable and harmonious with the environment. Thank you.